Have you ever woken up in the morning and felt like you needed another full night's rest? Immediately? Maybe you've even glanced at your phone the second your alarm went off, only to see 3 text messages, 5 app notifications, and a desperate email from your boss, and thought, nope, I'm out. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. More people than ever are quietly asking the internet, why am I so tired all the time? And while the basic fixes, like sleep more or stop looking at your phone before bed, might help a bit, they don't tell the whole story. In truth, our exhaustion has roots in biology that stretch back to our ancestors, and in modern habits that bombard our brains with demands they were never designed to handle. Today, we'll explore why modern life wears us out and how we can reclaim our energy. So grab a coffee or tea if you're already wary of caffeine, and let's dive right in. Let's embark on a little time travel. First stop, 300,000 years ago. Meet Johnny Caveman. Aside from a brow ridge and a different nose shape, he's basically got the same brain structure we do. But his daily life is worlds apart. Johnny Caveman's morning looks something like this. He wakes up with the sun, deciding whether to hunt with his group or gather wild plants. He wonders if the mushrooms he found are safe to eat. Eventually, he spends a lot of his day around the camp, eating, chatting with fellow cave dwellers, and doing a few routine chores. Fast forward to the 20th century, and we drop Johnny into a factory job. His day now includes repetitive tasks, deciding what to eat for breakfast, and how to get to work on time. He has more decisions to make, but they're still relatively straightforward. Now fast forward again to 2024. Modern Johnny is bombarded from the moment he opens his eyes. Should I snooze or get up right away? Is my kid's concert tonight or tomorrow? Am I out of cereal? Should I pick something up on the way to work? What about that email from my boss? His prefrontal cortex, the decision-making powerhouse in the brain, has gone from 0 to 60 before he's even rolled out of bed. Why is that so important? Because, as we'll soon see, decision overload can wear you down faster than any caveman ever experienced. Welcome to decision fatigue, the brain's full inbox. Think of your brain as a thriving city, with neurons as the roads and glutamate, a crucial neurotransmitter, as the traffic running through them. Whenever you make a decision, electrical signals race along these neural roads, using glutamate to carry messages. This is how your brain does its job. However, every decision, big or small, leaves excess glutamate behind, like trash piling up on the streets. If you make enough decisions, the trash starts getting in the way, slowing things down. Your brain's internal garbage collectors are working around the clock, but in the modern world, we produce far more mental trash than any prehistoric human did. By midday, you may feel mentally clogged, and tasks that seemed easy in the morning can start to feel overwhelming. This is decision fatigue. The more decisions you make, the more mental resources you burn, often leading to irritability, procrastination, or a sudden inability to choose between pepperoni or veggie pizza. As if decision fatigue wasn't enough, there's another set of biochemical rivals in this story. Let's talk about adenosine and caffeine. Adenosine is your body's natural tiredness timer. It builds up throughout the day, telling your brain, hey, you've been up a while, it's time to rest. Ideally, when adenosine levels get high, you start feeling sleepy and eventually doze off to clear the chemical. But in our can-do culture, we often push back. Enter caffeine. This widely loved substance doesn't remove adenosine. It just blocks the receptors in your brain that register adenosine. So you might feel great for a while, even though that tiredness timer is still ticking. Once the caffeine wears off, all that built-up adenosine rushes in like a tidal wave, leading to the afternoon crash. A quick hack, the coffee nap. If you have some mid-afternoon flexibility, try this. Drink a cup of coffee quickly. Lie down for a short 15-minute nap. When you wake up, the nap has cleared out some adenosine, and the caffeine is kicking in, unopposed by the blocked receptors. You'll feel surprisingly recharged, for a while at least. So, we've got decision fatigue clogging our neural circuits and adenosine pushing us to rest. all while caffeine holds the door shut against our natural signals. But this tug of war doesn't just happen in your head, it's playing out every moment in our daily lives. Let's look closer at how these chemicals and mental processes shape our daytime routine, the first battlefield where our energy levels get tested. Fourth battleground, daytime, too many choices, not enough breaks. Welcome to the daytime front lines. Here, you aren't just picking which fruit to gather or how long to sit around the campfire. You're choosing among 100 cereals at the grocery store, scrolling through countless Netflix shows, and juggling multiple tasks at work. Each choice adds to the mental overhead, causing glutamate buildup and fueling that creeping sense of exhaustion. Moreover, the constant presence of phones, emails, and notifications can force you into micro-decisions all day long. Do I check it now, later? Should I reply immediately or after lunch? These tiny queries eat away at your mental capacity, bit by bit. Tiny tweak number 1, simplify some choices. Wardrobe hack, pick out your clothes for the week on Sunday. Or go the minimalist route. Think Steve Jobs' black turtlenecks to free up brain power. Meal prep, plan your meals in advance. After a day of meetings and tasks, nobody wants to agonize over dinner decisions. By reducing trivial decisions, you'll conserve mental energy for what really matters. As the sun sets, you'd think we'd finally get a break. But nighttime has its own set of challenges. Our brains rely on a hormone called melatonin to switch us from wakefulness to sleep mode. Melatonin thrives in darkness, so if you're watching bright screens late at night, your brain thinks it must still be daytime and delays melatonin release. That can push your bedtime later and cut into precious hours of restoration. On top of that, we each have a chronotype, a genetically influenced preference for when we naturally want to sleep. Maybe you're a night owl, wired to feel alert long after midnight, or an early bird who bounces out of bed at dawn. Back in prehistoric times, varied sleep schedules helped keep the camp safe at night. In modern times, though, our jobs and school schedules can force us into routines that conflict with our internal clocks. Tiny tweak number 2, align with your chronotype, if you can. If flexible work hours are an option, adjust your schedule to fit your most productive hours. Dim the lights and avoid screens for at least 30 minutes before bed. A short digital detox can do wonders for melatonin production. 6. The nap culture clash. In many parts of the world, especially around the Mediterranean, people embrace biphasic sleep, which is a fancy term for splitting up sleep into chunks. They take midday naps, often called siestas, and then stay up a bit later at night. Research shows that regular nappers often experience improved cognitive performance and a lower risk of heart disease. However, in hustle-centric cultures like the US, napping is sometimes frowned upon. Telling your boss, "I need to snooze for an hour after lunch," might raise eyebrows. But if you work from home or have a flexible schedule, even a 20-minute power nap can dramatically cut down on sleep debt and decision fatigue. We usually hear about getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep, but quality matters as much as quantity. When you sleep, you cycle through stages: N1, light sleep; N2, slightly deeper; N3, deep restorative sleep; and REM, where dreaming and memory consolidation happen. Cutting these stages short because of late-night caffeine, phone use in bed, or an irregular schedule means you might technically sleep 8 hours, but miss out on the full cycle your body needs. You wake up feeling groggy and wonder why you aren't refreshed. Now that we've explored the complexity of daytime fatigue, nighttime disruptions, and sleep quality, you might be wondering how it all connects. Let's piece together these puzzle pieces and see what's really going on under the hood when we say, "I'm so tired." Picture yourself hosting a giant party. Decision fatigue is your phone incessantly ringing with guests asking a million tiny questions. The more calls you answer, the more drained you feel. Adenosine represents guests, hinting it's time to wrap things up, reminding you that you need rest. Caffeine is the overzealous bouncer turning those guests away, at least for a while. Chronotypes determine whether your party naturally peaks at midnight or noon. Melatonin is the event coordinator trying to dim the lights and cue all the asked call, only to get ignored when Netflix or YouTube blast bright lights at 1 a.m. No wonder we're exhausted, right? Our caveman brains are juggling technology, lights, and schedules they were never built for, all while the demands of modern society keep piling on. Now that we see the full picture of our daily battles, from sunrise decisions to midnight screen binges, how do we actually fight back? Let's move on to practical tips that can help you feel less like a zombie every day. Here are some strategies that, while not magical silver bullets, can take the edge off modern fatigue. Manage decisions. Pre-plan. Setting your wardrobe and meal choices ahead of time cuts down on daily decision overload. Create routines. Rituals reduce the mental cost of constant choice-making. The more routine something is, the less it drains you. Smart caffeine use. Delay your first cup until mid-morning, around 9 to 11 a.m., so your natural sleep inertia wears off first. Experiment with a coffee nap. Drink coffee. Nap briefly. Wake up feeling refreshed. Optimize your sleep environment. Keep your room dark, cool, and quiet. Even a little light from devices can disrupt melatonin. Introduce a screen-free buffer before bed. 15 to 30 minutes of zero screens can significantly improve sleep quality. Power of short naps. A 20-minute nap can reset your brain. If you can't manage a daily nap, try it once or twice a week to see if it helps. Honor your chronotype. Identify if you're a night owl, early bird, or somewhere in between, and schedule the bulk of your work during your peak alertness times. If possible, chat with your boss about flexible hours, especially if you're consistently hitting your stride later in the day. Stay active. Regular physical movement, even short walks, can help lower stress, improve circulation, and give your brain a break from relentless decision-making. By applying these tips, you can gradually ease the burden on your mind and body. But we also have to face a larger reality. Our brains are ancient hardware coping with hyper-modern life. So how do we navigate that contrast without giving up our tech and conveniences? We're not about to ditch Wi-Fi, smartphones, or grocery stores, nor should we. But knowing why our brains are on overload gives us agency. We can adapt our routines and habits to respect the biology that we inherited from early humans. We can't eliminate decision fatigue, but we can minimize it with streamlined routines. We won't all quit caffeine, but we can use it more strategically. We can't always ditch the 9 to 5, but maybe we can push for small changes that align better with our chronotypes or carve out time for brief rest. Think of your brain like a smartphone. If you never control the constant notifications, it becomes stressful and distracting. But with a few tweaks, like disabling push alerts and organizing your home screen, it morphs back into a powerful tool. The same principle applies to your mental energy. So, why are we so tired all the time? Because we're using caveman brains to navigate a hyper-connected, choice-saturated world. We're stuck in daily wars with decision overload, adenosine buildup, caffeine crashes, screen-induced melatonin confusion, and fixed schedules that rarely match our natural sleep rhythms. The silver lining? We have options. By planning outfits and meals, adjusting caffeine intake, recognizing our chronotypes, and sneaking in naps when we can peel back some of that chronic fatigue. You might not transform into a perpetual morning person who leaps out of bed with a smile. That's a tall order. But you can definitely reduce the grind and feel more in control. Thanks for sticking around until the end. If you're watching this late at night, take it as a sign. Power down your devices, let your melatonin do its job, and drift off. Your brain will thank you in the morning. Until next time, stay curious, be kind to your mind, and remember, sometimes the most radical act in our hustle-filled world is simply letting yourself rest when your body begs you to. Like and subscribe for more deep dives into everyday mysteries. Comment below, are you a night owl, early bird, or somewhere in between? Share this video with a friend who's been yawning all day. They might thank you for it.